say that shit. Like bad kids, bitch, we reckless, yeah. Raw hearts are like taxes.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Gwoppytrai back on another video, and I know that I don't have any face cam or up on the screen or anything because I just wanted to actually run some NBA 2K17 gameplay in the background while I tell y'all my very first story time that I'm ever going to tell on my channel. And before I say anything else, rest in peace NBA 2K17. Y'all had a good run, but unfortunately, y'all game developers, they made that game worse and worse and worse, and y'all about to be resting in a better place. So with that out of the way, let's get into the video. So, and also you can just ignore the background gameplay and stuff. Like, that's just something I got so like I can tell y'all the story time to keep y'all interested while I'm telling y'all this. So for my very first story time, I'm actually gonna tell you guys about my worst teacher I ever had in my entire life. So I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of background and context. So it is the year 2014, graduation year of 2015, 8th grade year. We about to be out the door, and stuff. So 8th grade year is pretty much a big deal. So now this story takes place on the west side of Chicago at Learn Charter Romano Butler campus on the North Lawndale neighborhood on the west side of Chicago. So if y'all know, if any of y'all from Chicago and y'all know where that's at, that's where I went to school at. So yeah. So now this 8th grade year, this teacher, now I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of context of like what this teacher is like. So now she was an African American woman. She was a black woman. She was also a reading teacher and stuff. And now my history with reading teachers is not that great. And frankly, because all of them has been females, nothing against females before y'all say something. But this one was tweaking all year. I can tell you that. So this year, now the thing about this teacher is that she has her own policies and like believes in her own system over what the school system wants her to teach. So while the other reading teacher, because we had two different reading teachers for our 8th grade level, we had another teacher, I can't remember what her name was because I didn't have her, but she was like the more lit teacher. She was the more fun teacher, and this was the name of my teacher. Her name was Miss Ominazu, and that's how you remember from something from like 5 years ago. Someone from 5 years ago that done some messed up stuff to you, bruh. Like, I still remember her to this day, and I hate her with a serious burning passion that can just die in hell. So, as I'm in the classroom, in her class, I just realized that this year was not going to be a breeze at all. Because, first of all, she gave us tons of homework every single night, like we were in college or something when we're supposed to be on 8th grade level of teaching. And most of the time when we didn't have homework, 99% of the time we would have homework from this female. And you would say, and I'm keeping it PG real quick, not only because my parents are in the house right now, but because if I go off on them, some feminist is going to be in my comment section. Why you call her that? Like, let's be true. So whenever we don't get homework from any other classes, she will be the only one giving out homework. And it would be like mountains of homework that she would just give us. Now, she would give us a worksheet of like the vocabulary we worked on. And then she would give us another worksheet on a story that we're on. And then she would have us read a book and have us read like 40 pages a night. A night. I do not exaggerate when I say this. A night, my guy. So needless to say, I was pretty heated to be in this classroom. And that's not the main reason why I hated her. That was not the main reason. So the main reason why I hated this woman was because that whenever I did something out of line, which was so rare, I'm talking about rare every blue moon. That's how rare. I rarely act up in class because I was raised right, not like no thug or wild hyena hood rat. So whenever someone else be acting up in the class, like I will be the one that gets singled out the most whenever I make a mistake or something. Like, she would put me on blast in front of the whole entire class. She would like go off on me, and like female, I did not do nothing wrong. Like, basically, like, leave me alone on that type of stuff. So you get what I'm saying? So Actually, I'm gonna make this a part 2. By the way, I'm gonna actually tell y'all like the second part of the story at a later date, like before New Year's. So, but back on the topic of my worst teacher. So, not only that, whenever I get singled out, okay, now we had a very very bad class clown in our class in our 8th grade like class graduation year, and his name was Marleek. Now he was in my reading class, like, and to make things worse, he would always be acting a plumb fool in class, and she barely even say anything to him. But whenever I misbehave, I get put on blast in front of the whole entire classroom. She'd be ready to like send me to detention and everything else. But whenever I did not do nothing wrong. You get what I'm saying? So it's clear favoritism, and you would think that she was being a black teacher, she would be more lenient with us. No, she hated me the most. And that's saying something when like my other 3 out of 4 teachers was actually my 1 out of 4 other teachers were white, and he loved me the most. That says a lot considering that this black woman doesn't even like my guts. So that says a lot about her character and about her mentality. So and then also the one other thing that makes her one of the worst teachers that I've ever had in my life is that not only at Learn Charter Romano Butler campus, we had regular detention. In middle school, we had regular detention, which is fine, and I agree with some discipline every once in a while, especially these kids growing up these days that got no respect. But my guy, she had a whole nother detention of her own. And I really want to know who gave her permission to do this. I really want to know who gave her permission to give her her own detention. Now, you're saying, Trey, what's so bad about it? She can have her own detention if she wanted to. No, I'm not agreeing with that. Because number one, whenever you misbehaved in her class and she felt it was enough to get a seat in her detention, my guy, she had, okay, now this is how her detention was set up, right? Once you get to detention, like there's a whole like row of seats. Now, like, okay, now picture those seats that you be sitting in class. I'm talking about those seats that like your back start hurting whenever you try to sit up, and then you get an uncomfortable position every 5 minutes, and then you try to slouch over in your seat like it's gonna make anything better, but it just makes it worse. Those are the type of chairs that she had, and with no desk. It was like 10 of those chairs, like in rows of 5, 2 rows of 5, and facing a wall. It was really literally facing a wall. I put it on my grave. It was facing a wall, bro. So, all you just said, when people get sent to that detention, they sit in those chairs and then they basically sit and stare at the wall and stuff. You can't do no other homework. You can't read no book. You can't be on your phone or anything. You just have to sit there and stare at the wall for like, I think, an hour. I think, because like back at my old school, it wasn't like 55-minute classes. We didn't have 8 classes in a day. We had like 4 or 5 classes, and they were all in like 1.5 hour blocks. So, and not to mention, at the end of the day, after our 4th class, we had electives. So, and I'm telling y'all this because I was in her detention, but that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day on how I ended up in that detention. Actually, as a matter of fact, hold on, I'll tell y'all in a minute. So, then, if you was to do anything out of line in her detention, she would just basically write you up for another week to be in that detention. Like, she's one of those type of teachers, my guy. She's basically one of those. And I will never forget this, because the one thing that I did to this woman, which I feel that she deserved, because I didn't do nothing wrong, bruh. I didn't do nothing wrong to her. And then the fact that she gonna want to make my life miserable for no reason when I was already having a bad day that day. But that's another story for another day. So that's part 1. This is part 1 of my worst reading teacher I've ever had in my entire life. Now, I'll tell you guys this. 10 likes on this video and I'll have a part 2 ready. I'll have part 2 of the story time ready before the New Year's drop. Y'all got my word. I know it's the season of giving and everything, so I want to give back to y'all and stuff. So, I'm going to keep posting bangers. I'm 4 subscribers away from 900 subscribers, and we finna go crazy. We finna hit this 1K, and everything gonna be good, bruh. So, I hope you guys enjoyed part 1 of this story time. Also, let me know in the comments. Let me know like what kind of teacher you guys had growing up. Did y'all have like a teacher like I had? Did y'all have any nicer teachers? Like, I want to know what y'all had while y'all was in y'all middle school years, or just in school in general. So I hope you guys enjoyed the story time. Make sure you guys like and subscribe if you're new. And I'm out, bruh.